I'm doing this video because I was asked to share an experience I had with a man called Michael McLaughlin. For a lot of people, you'll know him as the healing man or the holy man Michael. He's all over Facebook at the moment, healing people and all these videos and so what. So I was asked to do this video just to share my experience. So this is to all the travellers, even non-travellers, anyone, and to anybody who has had an encounter with him or may have an encounter with him soon. My name, to everyone who doesn't know, it's Phyllis Tannehill. I come to know this man through a family member who at the time was waiting to see him. They told me so many good things about him. Well, it's also what they had heard at the time and all the good things they had been told about him. So anyway, for all the people that don't know me, I have a son called Martin. He's 14. He has an incurable disease called Pohan hyperthyroidism. It's a condition which affects the pituitary gland in his brain. It stops it working, which means he is not able to produce any hormones. He is adrenal insufficient, which if he gets sick, even something as simple as a sickness bug or a flu could kill him. So you can imagine the excitement when I found out about this man Michael McLaughlin, and this man who proclaimed to have healed people all over the country at the time. I would have took my son across the ocean, to be quite truthful with you, at the hope this man of helping him, of helping my child, of healing him. Anyway, fast forward, Michael come back from Ireland at the time to Scotland, to where I was staying at the time anyway, to do a healing mass in Greenock. I drove 60 miles to Greenock to see him. I had been informed, well, he had been informed that we'd attend the mass. He had been informed of our names, that it would be me, my husband and my 2 children. He'd been informed by a family member. I was full of hope, nerves, all sorts of feelings. Anyway, you can imagine. We got there, it was packed full of people. People had flocked from all over to see him. The mass went on for a while, and then he started to call people up. So I went up with my son, obviously, but to my surprise, he didn't acknowledge him. He prayed over me instead. Martin stood at my side. He told me I had suicidal thoughts. I had thought about committing suicide. I had kidney problems. And that he prayed over me and I was going to be okay, and I was healed. I won't lie, I took a horrible, horrible feeling instantly, because none of what he had said was true or even related to me. Thank God for that. But as that, before I knew it, I was back, sat in my seat. We sat there for ages. My little girl, Priya, at the time, she was about 4, coming on 5, she started to get anxious. She was upset, she was tired, it was really late. Mass had went on for a long time. So her daddy decided to take her out to the car. He said, I'll take her out, try and settle her, so I could wait for Martin to be seen. So my husband left. Well, he stood up and he went to leave. Michael looked at him instantly and he realised it was him. Obviously he had been given a description, and he's realised we were the people that was meant to be seeing him. That my son, the boy that had stood next to me, was the boy he was supposed to see. So my husband left. After that, the mass went on, prayed, but every time I finished praying and I lifted my head, he was staring at me. So at the time, all sorts was going through my mind, but I had so much hope and faith. I put all them feelings at the back of my mind. For a few minutes I just sat there, and then he called me, I'm Martin, by name, to the altar. Previously that, he didn't even really recognise us or know even who we were. So it was a red flag, I won't lie. But like I said, I was so anxious and so nervous and all sorts of feelings going through me at the time. I decided just to put it at the back of my mind. But I won't lie, this is where it got hard for me. he placed my child in front of a whole chapel, like he was in the circus. He prayed over him. As I stood there and watched him, he told him, "You are healed in the name of Jesus." I wanted to believe it so bad. But then he followed with, "You do not need your medication anymore. Stop taking it. You are healed." Bear in mind, this is my son. Without his medication for 24 hours, it would kill him. His body would have just shut down. I felt sick. I had the worst feeling come over me. As that, he removed his glasses, which is a part of his condition as well. He has another condition called septoptic dysplasia, which means he's 83% blind in one eye. He's also 70% partially sighted in the other eye. He then told the whole chapel he could see. He shouted it. "He can see, this boy can see." He took his glasses and he put them and folded them, put them in his pocket. My child was so excited, he heard everyone cheer. He shouted, "I can see, Mommy, I can see." Just as that, two men come, one at either side of me. He grabbed me, not viciously, just grabbed my shoulder. Another one took Martin by the shoulder. He then proceeded to walk us out the side door of the chapel and put me out. And he locked the door and stood us out in the rain. I was in so much shock, I stood still. In the rain, I was absolutely soaking. I walked to the car as I was in tears. A man come behind me, one of the men that walked us out, and said, "You have the crucifix in your hand." I want it back. I didn't even realise it was in my hand. I was in so much shock. I asked why. "Can I not come back in?" He said, "Michael has no time to speak to you. He has other people to see." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My husband shouted, "Get in the car, it's absolutely like pissing down, it's raining." Sorry. As that, I got in the car. I was soaked. My child said, "Mummy, where's my glasses? I can't see." I looked at my husband and I cried. I knew it was a sham straight away. Me and my husband had an argument. Then he reversed into a woman's car. Everything that could have went wrong that night, nothing else could have went wrong. I cried the whole way home. My heart was absolutely shattered. I couldn't believe what this man had done, or how I allowed him to use my child. So please, as one mother to another, please stay away from this man, Michael. I don't know what kind of evil he is, or what it is he does. I totally understand why you choose to want to see him. I was there. I was that mother. I was that person. I wanted that hope. The thought, it's all good. But it's deeply affected me. Every time I hear that man's name, it makes me sick. But one thing I am thankful for, please God, is my faith is stronger now than it ever was. So Michael McLaughlin, if you can hear this, remember, I am a true believer. And as Jesus said, wherever there is darkness, he will shine a light. So I know now, while I was so desperately waiting and praying and hoping that this man would heal my child, Jesus had already healed him all along. He had already, because the real healing from God was I had him, and that he chose me to be his mother. Because Martin, as a child, being born, he died twice coming into the world. He then was on a ventilator for 12 weeks. So Jesus did heal him. He gave him to me. So Michael, he didn't win this time. But in the power of the mighty Jesus and prayer and everybody, he will be stopped. And I hope, if you have any heart or any goodness in there at all, you will stop giving people false hope. And yeah, just false hope. Stop getting people to believe. Stop hurting them, because it's not nice. Anyway, you've heard enough of me, but this man Michael McLaughlin needs to be stopped, because he's just not good. He's not a good man at all.